Have you ever noticed that life becomes quieter as we grow older? Yet our minds sometimes become louder? Friends move away. Children become busy with their own families. Our bodies may not move as quickly as they once did. The world changes faster than we can keep up, and sometimes, without warning, difficult days arrive. It may be a health concern, the loss of someone you deeply love, financial worries after retirement, news that makes the future seem uncertain. Or perhaps it is simply waking up one morning with a feeling you cannot explain. If you've ever felt this way, you are far from alone. Millions of older adults across the United States and Europe experience moments like these. Yet many of them discover something remarkable. Peace is not found in a life without problems. Peace is found in how we meet those problems. Today, we will explore gentle. These are not quick tricks or unrealistic promises. They are timeless habits that have helped countless people find strength through loss, illness, uncertainty, and change. So, settle into a comfortable chair. Take a slow breath, and let's begin this journey together. When we are young, we often believe difficult seasons are temporary interruptions. We think, once I finish school, once I find the right job, once I retire, once everything is finally settled. But life rarely works that way. Every stage of life brings new joys, and every stage brings new challenges. The older we become, the more we understand something that younger people often struggle to believe. No one escapes hardship. Every person you meet has faced disappointment. Every smiling face has known tears. Every family has experienced loss. Recognizing this truth doesn't make life sad. It actually makes life lighter. Because we stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" Instead, we gently ask, "How can I walk through this with grace?" That simple shift changes everything. Imagine two travelers walking through the rain. One spends the entire journey complaining that it shouldn't be raining. The other opens an umbrella and keeps walking. Neither can stop the storm, but only one reaches the destination with peace. Life's difficulties are often like rain. We cannot always stop them, but we can learn how to walk through them without losing ourselves. One of the greatest gifts that comes with age is perspective. You have already survived days you once believed would break you. Think back. There were moments when you thought, "I don't know how I'll get through this." Yet here you are. You carried on. You adapted. You healed. Perhaps not perfectly, but you continued. Sometimes we forget our own strength because we become focused on today's worries. Take a moment to remember all the storms you've already survived. They remind you of something important. You are stronger than today's fear wants you to believe. When people become anxious, their first instinct is often to solve the problem immediately. They search for answers. They imagine every possible outcome. Their thoughts race faster and faster. Ironically, the harder they chase peace, the further it seems to move away. Our minds and bodies are deeply connected. When we become frightened, our breathing naturally becomes shorter and faster. Our heart beats harder. Our muscles tighten. Our brain interprets these signals as danger. Soon, even small problems begin to feel overwhelming. But something beautiful happens when we slow our breathing. Our body receives a different message. It begins to understand, I am safe. That is why something as simple as breathing slowly can become one of the most powerful tools for calming the mind. You don't need expensive equipment. You don't need special training. You only need a quiet moment. Try this. Breathe in slowly through your nose. Count to 4. Hold for just a second. Then breathe out even more slowly. Feel your shoulders relax. Repeat this a few times. You may notice your heartbeat slowing. Your thoughts become quieter. The problem hasn't disappeared, but your ability to face it has grown stronger. Many older adults discover that creating small moments of calm throughout the day makes an enormous difference. Perhaps it's sitting by the window with a warm cup of tea, listening to birds in the morning, watching clouds drift across the sky, tending a small garden, knitting, reading a favorite book, or simply enjoying silence without feeling guilty. These quiet moments are not wasted time. They are moments when the mind repairs itself. Modern life encourages constant activity, but the human spirit also needs stillness, especially later in life. Stillness allows us to hear our own wisdom again. Sometimes the answer we've been searching for arrives only after we've stopped searching so hard. Before we finish today's first chapter, remember this simple thought. You do not have to solve your entire future today. You only need enough strength for this moment. Tomorrow will bring its own opportunities. Today, simply breathe. Be kind to yourself. Trust that you have survived difficult days before, and trust that you can meet this one too. Because calm is not the absence of trouble. It is the quiet confidence that, whatever comes, you will face it one peaceful step at a time. Take another slow breath. By now, we've talked about two important truths. First, difficult times are a natural part of life. Second, calm begins not with solving every problem, but with slowing down and caring for ourselves in the present moment. Now, let's explore another lesson that many people spend a lifetime learning. Sometimes, peace comes not from holding on tighter, but from gently letting go. Have you ever stayed awake at night, replaying the same worries over and over? Maybe you wondered about your health. Maybe you worried about your children or grandchildren. Perhaps you thought about rising prices, world events, or what tomorrow might bring. These concerns are understandable. They come from love, responsibility, and hope. But here's a gentle question. How many of those worries actually changed the outcome? Most likely, very few. This isn't because you didn't care enough. It's because some things have always been beyond our control. The weather, other people's choices, the past, unexpected events, the future. Trying to control these things is like trying to stop the wind with your hands. The harder you try, the more exhausted you become. Instead, imagine yourself standing beside a peaceful river. Leaves float gently on the surface. Each leaf represents a worry. Rather than grabbing every leaf, you simply watch them drift by. Some move quickly, others move slowly, but eventually, they all continue downstream. Your thoughts are much the same. You don't have to hold on to every anxious thought that enters your mind. You can notice it, acknowledge it, and let it pass. This doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop carrying burdens that were never yours to hold. One helpful practice is to ask yourself two simple questions whenever you feel overwhelmed. Can I do something about this today? If the answer is yes, take one small step. Make the phone call. Schedule the appointment. Write the list. Ask for help. One small action often brings more peace than hours of worrying. But if the answer is no, if there is truly nothing you can do today, then give yourself permission to let that worry rest until tomorrow. This simple habit protects your energy. And at this stage of life, your peace is one of your most valuable treasures. Many older adults discover that letting go is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of wisdom. Wisdom knows the difference between responsibility and unnecessary burden. You are responsible for your kindness. You are responsible for your choices. You are responsible for how you treat others. But you are not responsible for controlling the entire world. That realization can feel wonderfully freeing. When life becomes difficult, gratitude may seem impossible. After all, how can we be grateful when someone we love is ill? When we feel lonely? When our body aches? When life hasn't gone the way we expected? Gratitude doesn't ask us to ignore pain. Instead, it gently reminds us that pain is not the whole story. Imagine walking through a beautiful garden. If you stare only at the weeds, you'll believe that's all the garden contains. But if you lift your eyes, you'll notice flowers, butterflies, sunlight, and trees. Life works in much the same way. Every life has weeds. Every life also has flowers. The question is not whether difficulties exist. The question is what we choose to notice each day. One gentleman in his 80s shared a simple habit. Every evening before going to bed, he quietly named 3 things he was thankful for. Some days, they were big things. My granddaughter visited. I received good news from the doctor. I spent the afternoon with an old friend. Other days, they were beautifully simple. A warm bowl of soup. The sound of rain. A comfortable chair. The smile of a neighbor. Over time, something surprising happened. His circumstances didn't always improve. But his outlook did. His heart became lighter. His sleep became more peaceful. His days felt richer, not because life became perfect, but because he learned to notice the quiet blessings that had been there all along. Gratitude also helps us remember how much we have already experienced. Think about your own journey. The friendships you've built, the lessons you've learned, the places you've visited, the laughter you've shared, the challenges you've overcome, the love you've given. These memories are treasures no one can take away. Even if today feels difficult, your life has already been filled with countless meaningful moments. And there are still meaningful moments waiting to be discovered. Sometimes they arrive in unexpected ways. A conversation with a neighbor, a handwritten card, a blooming flower outside your window, a favorite song playing on the radio, a grandchild's laugh. These small moments may seem ordinary, but together they create a life that is rich with meaning. As we close this chapter, remember this simple thought. You don't need a perfect life to experience peace. You only need a heart that remains open to the good that still exists. Even on difficult days, there is almost always something gentle, something beautiful, or someone kind worth noticing. And sometimes that single moment of gratitude becomes the light that carries us through the darkness. So far, we've discovered that calm begins by accepting life's challenges, slowing our breathing, letting go of what we cannot control, and practicing gratitude. Now, let's talk about something many people overlook, especially as they grow older. True strength doesn't always come from being independent. Sometimes it comes from staying connected. There is an old saying, shared joy becomes greater. Shared sorrow becomes lighter. There is wisdom in those simple words. As we age, our social circles often become smaller. Friends move away, retire, or pass on. Children become busy with careers and families. Neighbors change. Communities evolve. Without realizing it, many older adults begin spending more and more time alone. There is nothing wrong with enjoying solitude. In fact, quiet moments can be deeply healing. But loneliness is different. Loneliness is not about being physically alone. It is about feeling unseen, unheard, or disconnected. And when we feel disconnected, even small problems can seem much larger. Think about the last meaningful conversation you had. Perhaps it was with a lifelong friend, a neighbor, a son or daughter, a grandchild, or even a kind stranger who smiled and asked how your day was going. Did you notice how your heart felt afterward? Often, we leave those conversations feeling lighter, not because our problems disappeared, but because someone walked beside us, even if only for a few minutes. Human beings are created for connection, no matter our age. If you've been feeling isolated lately, consider taking one small step this week. Call someone you've been thinking about. Write a letter. Join a local community group. Attend a place of worship if that brings you comfort. Visit the library. Volunteer for a few hours, or simply introduce yourself to a neighbor you've waved at for years, but never truly met. You don't need dozens of close friends. Even one genuine connection can make an enormous difference. And remember this: sometimes people don't reach out because they assume you're busy. Sometimes they hesitate because they don't want to disturb you. Your phone call might brighten someone else's day just as much as it brightens yours. Connection is a gift that flows in both directions. When you offer kindness, encouragement, or simply your presence, you often receive the same in return. Perhaps one of the greatest gifts of growing older is your life experience. You have stories, lessons, mistakes you've learned from, victories you've earned. Someone younger may desperately need to hear your wisdom. Never believe your best contribution is behind you. Your presence still matters. Your words still matter. Your kindness still matters. And your life still has purpose. When life feels uncertain, routines become anchors. Think back to your childhood. Perhaps your mornings followed a familiar rhythm. School, bedtime. As adults, especially in retirement, those familiar structures can disappear. The good news is that you can create new routines at any stage of life. Imagine beginning each morning in a peaceful way. Open the curtains. Notice the morning light. Perhaps read a favorite passage from a book. If you've stayed with me this far, I hope you've discovered something important. Staying calm during difficult times isn't about pretending everything is fine. It isn't about ignoring grief, fear, or uncertainty. It's about learning to meet life's challenges with a heart that remains steady, hopeful, and kind. No matter your age, there is always room to grow in peace. And perhaps that is one of life's greatest gifts. There may be days when you wonder if life will ever feel easy again. Perhaps you've lost someone you loved deeply. Maybe your health has changed in ways you never expected. Or perhaps you've watched the world change so much that it no longer feels familiar. These experiences can leave anyone feeling uncertain. But hope is not the belief that nothing bad will ever happen. Hope is the quiet confidence that, even when life is difficult, goodness can still be found. Think about the seasons of the year. Winter trees appear lifeless. Their branches are bare. The days are shorter. The air is cold. If we judged only by winter, we might believe those trees would never bloom again. Yet every spring, almost without fail, tiny buds begin to appear. Life quietly returns. Your own life has likely followed similar seasons. There were times of celebration, times of heartbreak, times of waiting, times of healing. And somehow, each season prepared you for the next. If today feels like winter, remember that seasons always change. The difficult chapter you're living now is not the whole story. There are still moments of warmth waiting ahead. Hope often grows in small ways. A phone call from a friend, a doctor's encouraging report, a grandchild's laughter filling the room, a beautiful sunrise, the smell of fresh bread baking, a favorite old song that brings back treasured memories. These simple moments remind us that life continues to offer gifts, even after loss. The heart has an amazing ability to heal, not by forgetting the past, but by learning to carry it with love instead of only pain. As we grow older, we become more aware that time is precious. This realization can sometimes feel frightening, but it can also become one of the greatest invitations life offers. An invitation to appreciate today. Many people spend years waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect vacation, the perfect health, the perfect finances, the perfect circumstances. But life rarely becomes perfect. Instead, it offers us ordinary days, and hidden within those ordinary days are extraordinary moments. A warm conversation, a peaceful walk, a smile from a stranger, a favorite meal shared with family, a quiet afternoon reading by the window. These moments may seem small, But when collected over time, they become the memories that matter most. At the end of life, few people wish they had worried more. Most wish they had noticed more, loved more, forgiven more, laughed more, and simply been present. That opportunity still exists today. No matter how old you are, no matter what challenges you're facing, today is another chance to live with kindness, patience, and gratitude. Perhaps the most comforting truth is this: you do not need to have all the answers. You do not need to know exactly what tomorrow will bring. You only need to take the next faithful step. Some days, that step will be large. Other days, it may simply be getting out of bed, opening the curtains, and choosing to smile. Both kinds of steps matter. Progress is still progress, no matter how small. Before we say goodbye, I'd like to leave you with one final thought. Take a moment and think about everything you've already overcome. The challenges, the disappointments, the unexpected turns, the moments you believed you couldn't endure. Yet here you are, still learning, still loving, still growing, still finding reasons to hope. That is something truly remarkable. Never underestimate the quiet strength you've built over a lifetime. It may not always feel dramatic. It may not attract attention. But it is real, and it is beautiful. So when difficult times come, as they always do, remember these simple truths. Take one slow breath. Focus on what you can control. Be grateful for the small blessings. Stay connected with people who care about you. Create peaceful daily routines. Hold on to hope. And treasure each new day as the gift it is. Because calm is not found in a perfect life. It is found in a peaceful heart. And that peaceful heart has been growing inside you through every challenge you've ever faced. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this message brought you comfort, I hope you'll carry it with you in the days ahead. And whenever life feels overwhelming, remember this: no storm lasts forever. The sun always finds its way through the clouds. And so can you. Take good care of yourself. You are stronger than you know. You are loved more than you realize.